Once upon a time, there was a young teenage boy named Joe, and this is his story. Joe was your average Australian teenager. He played soccer and basketball, averaged a B minus, and went to the odd party every now and again. However, one party didn't have the happy ending they usually did. That night, Joe and his mates drank way more than they expected, and the whole night became a blur. He woke up the next day covered in long, blonde, curly hair. He snapped awake and quickly grabbed his clothes and wallet from the floor next to a gold necklace with a silver locket displaying the letter M. Joe rang his mate George and asked what happened. George was just as wasted as Joe and could remember little more than Joe did, but George could still inform him that he left early with Mary, a tall blonde. Then George proceeded to compliment Joe on his nice catch for the night. Joe then travelled back home and began to forget about the previous night as he tried to recover from his raging hangover. His phone rang and Joe answered with a groggy hello. "Hey Joe, how's it going? Thanks for such a lovely night last night. But why did you leave so early? I thought we could have breakfast together." "Oh crap," Joe thought to himself. "I gave this girl my number. Sorry, I had to get home and clean my place before my parents came home." "Oh, that's all cool then. I can't believe the pharmacy was closed last night. But I'm so happy I'm on the pill, otherwise last night might not have happened." "Oh yeah, well, that's my parents at the door. I've got to go. Sorry." Joe lay down again and immediately his testes began to feel sore. He decided to go to the toilet and see if that would help. It didn't, and he was largely discomforted whilst urinating, and a small amount of discharge came out of his penis. Joe thought it was best to see a doctor. After a few samples and questions at the doctor's, Dr. Smith could easily identify the cause of Joe's discomfort. "Well, Joe, all your answers and test results seem to appear that you have chlamydia, a common sexually transmissible infection. A sexually transmissible infection is any infection or disease that can be passed from one person to another through sexual activity. Chlamydia is very common in people around your age. 81% of reported cases for people with chlamydia are 15 to 24 years old. Is it preventable? And the girl didn't look like they had an STI. Are you sure it's chlamydia?" Yes, chlamydia can be easily prevented with use of a condom, since it creates a protective barrier from catching chlamydia and some other STIs. Sometimes it is impossible to tell just by looking at someone that they have an STI, and chlamydia is often called the silent infection, as most people don't even realize they have it. Chlamydia also isn't very rare in young teens like yourself. Around 1 in 4 Year 10s and 1 in 2 Year 12s have had vaginal intercourse. This also correlates with the fact that 39% of sexually active students report they only use condoms sometimes when they have sex, and 13% say that they never do. This really helps the infection grow more prevalent in teens. Just like yourself, 42% of teens say they don't carry condoms with them whenever they go out. Wow, doctor, that's really interesting. But can my STI be cured, and is it expensive? My family aren't really that well off and probably can't support me too much financially, and I don't want them to deal with the social degradation." "It's alright, Joe. Chlamydia can be easily cured with antibiotics, and since you came in straight away, it should only take one treatment." "Thanks, Doc. That makes me feel so much better. I'll be sure to let everyone know how easy it is to come in contact with an STI." The end.